So when it comes to the tuning, it's really, I'm going to give you the short answer, and then I'm going to dive into the long answer. That way, those that just want to know generally can get that information, and then those that are more interested into the nitty gritty technical details, we can dive deeper for them. And if one or two people are left, then that's fine as well. Essentially, our approach to tuning on most of our builds is that the Bosch ECUs that we primarily work with from 99 through 2008 are extremely adaptive. So, for instance, the same ECU that's used on a Boxster 2.5 or 2.7 is the same ECU that's used on a Carrera 3.4, 3.6, or 3.8, all the way up to the 997. The generations, the ECUs improve over the generations, but that same ECU is used for multiple displacements. So it's pretty simple for us to adapt them to our capacity increase builds. Essentially, there's two things that we need to adjust. The first one is, since the cylinder volume is higher and it's pulling more air past the mass airflow sensor as a cylinder goes down and sucks air, we need to adapt how the load is calculated for the engine based on how much air is passing across the MAF. So that's the first thing we do. There's a constant that we can adjust and just scale that for the new displacement size so that the MAF reading equates to the same amount of load, despite the fact that we're pulling more air past it. Then equally, if we've got more air, we need more fuel as well. And so there's another constant that we can adjust, the Kirk-D as we call it, to allow the injectors to adapt to the newer displacement as well. And we can see that on, how Porsche handles the tuning of the Bosch ECUs from the 2.5 versus a, 3.8. And so essentially we can see from Porsche's prior work how they've mapped the difference between, say, a 2.7 liter Boxster and a 3.8 liter 997. It allows us to pretty much follow suit. The other two things that we typically do is, one, the MAF diagnostics. The MAF's going to be getting higher readings because of the higher volume of air that's passing through. And so we need to scale that up as well so that an out of range reading truly is out of range, and so that we can still have the diagnostics if the MAF starts going faulty. And then the other thing is, we typically go ahead on our engines and raise the idle a little bit. I understand why the idle's low, but really, especially since we recommend higher viscosity oil for our builds to better protect the engine, that makes it pretty difficult for the lifters to get pumped up. And there's quite a bit of ticking noise and that sort of thing on the idle that, if we bump it up to about 1,000 RPMs, it just smooths out and it purrs and sounds the way that we would expect our engines to sound at idle.